Welcome to video number 3, the last and final video of our 3-part series, Mastering the Virtual Presentation. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to master your virtual stage. But before we get into that, if you haven't already watched video number 1, which is about getting and keeping your audience's attention, or video number 2, how to interact with your audience virtually, make sure you find the link somewhere around here and spend the time to watch that. So, if you're ready, let's get into mastering the virtual stage. Now, when you're delivering a live presentation, it could be either on a big stage or in a room, there's a curtain behind you or there's a flip chart behind you, but the difference is the audiences are right in front of you and sharing the same environment. In a virtual situation, everyone is sharing a different stage. So although you might be on camera, their environment, they might be in their spare bedroom, they might be in their kitchen, they might be on their dining room table. Their environment is going to be different to yours. So what we need to ensure is that we master our stage presence of not only what we're doing with regards to our body language and our tonality and what we say, but also our stage behind us. So what do I mean by that? Well, here I'm going to show you my 5 tips to master your stage in the virtual presentation world. Tip number 1 is camera angle. Believe me, nobody wants to see up your nasal cavity or double, triple, quadruple chins. We've all got them, and we've all seen angles like this before where the presenter is staring down at their laptop camera, and all we can see is up their nasal cavity and up their nostrils. Make sure that your camera is at eye level or slightly above. We don't want to be looking down at the laptop. If you are using the laptop camera, then make sure that your laptop is raised using books or a box so it's at a more professional angle, if you like. If you're using an external camera, use a tripod like the one I'm using right now and raise it to a level where you can look straight into the lens of the camera. Tip number 2 is to use an external microphone. One of the big mistakes that most online presenters make is that they use the microphone that's already built into their laptop, for example. Now, the problem with that is that although it's a relatively good microphone, it's also picking up all the ambient noise around. You want your audience just to hear you rather than a dog barking or a truck driving up the street. So get yourself a separate microphone. It could be a lavalier microphone like I'm using right now, or if I'm doing a podcast, for example, or if you're sitting at my desk, I would have a separate microphone. And these can be bought relatively cheaply from Amazon. I think a good lavalier microphone will start you off $20, $30, and a stand-up microphone will cost you from $100 upwards. So depending on how often you're doing presentations, my tip number 2 would be get yourself a separate microphone that is deliberately picking up your voice more than picking up external sounds elsewhere, so they can focus on you and your message rather than what's happening around them. Tip number 3 would be to use proper lighting. Make sure that you have enough light that lights you up as the presenter, rather than you just being a dark silhouette in a dark room. It doesn't have to be expensive lighting. It doesn't have to be, for example, I'm using a light like this, or you've seen those ring lights that people use. Again, they're not that expensive. Ring lights can be bought on Amazon for $20 upwards, I suppose. But if you don't have one of those, then a lampshade that you have, just take off the shade and put the lamp in front of you. And that will generate enough light to light your face up so they can focus on you rather than trying to figure out what kind of silhouette that they're staring at. Tip number 4 is non-verbals. Pay attention to the non-verbals. We already know that 7% of all communication is verbal, 93% is non-verbal. But it's not just about the things you say. It's the things that are around you. So when you are presenting, make sure you know what's behind you. You haven't got any inappropriate pictures behind you, or that your husband or wife is going to walk past with just their underwear on, making sure that you are in a clean, tidy space that projects well on you and the message that you want to give when you give your presentation. And that brings me to my fifth and final tip, which is the tip 5, the use of virtual backgrounds. Now, Zoom has done a great job to give virtual backgrounds to almost every user without the need of a green screen. And some of these are absolutely fantastic. You can completely change the dynamic of your presentation by having a quality backdrop or a quality black screen for you if you're using something like Zoom. But please be careful. It depends upon your quality of your camera. It depends on the quality of your internet connection. It depends on the quality of your laptop. And if you're not careful and you move too quickly, then it has the opposite effect. It takes it from a really powerful, clean picture to a really blurry picture and a really fuzzy picture. And all that will do would take away the message from you. It will take away from you being the star of that presentation. And all they could focus on is the fuzziness and the bad picture that's behind you. Personally, I prefer to have just a nice clean backdrop, just a tidy backdrop where I can. But if you can't and you prefer to have a virtual background, then make sure you're not going to move too much so that the focus is purely left on you. So those are the 3 major shifts on how to go from live presentations to virtual presentations to keep your audience engaged, entertained, and educated. Now, if you would like further tips, and I'd love to hear what your struggles are when they come to presenting either live or virtual, please reach out to me on LinkedIn or Facebook. I'm Gary Lafferty, so I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to hearing from you what's working, what's not working, and if you have any other suggestions or what videos and tips that you'd like me to share with you, let me know in LinkedIn or Facebook, and I'll make sure I do a video for you and help you there. Until then, see you next time. All the best and have a great presentation.